can't hold water. You can't, he has to follow protocol. And that's where I think he slips up, is he doesn't necessarily believe that applies to him, or he's just not, it's just not the nature of...
He's not compliant.
Yeah.
So and then isn't he suing now to get documents back?
Yeah, he is, and also to have information not released. I think part of this problem, again, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with the transparency of the U.S. government. When they talked about this in this old conference room in DOJ, wherever they talked about it, and they said, we're thinking about conducting a raid, and the Bureau doesn't like to use the word raid, or DOJ doesn't like to use the word raid, but when they said we're talking about doing a raid on the home of the former president, they probably should have, once again, from a messaging perspective, stepped back and thought to themselves, okay, what does that mean? How are we going to justify this? Not that they have to, but they should have known what a firestorm it was going to create. And so they should have had that completely buttoned up and ready to go the moment they were going to do it, and be as transparent within the limitations of what they can do, right, of what they were doing and why they were doing it. Because if they don't, they create all that open space, right? And that's where everyone jumps in and starts declaring what exactly happened without knowing what the fuck happened.
Right.
And then you get all this misinformation and disinformation, and it's another fucking goat rope. So it's a process that I think the Attorney General probably should have handled better, because he had to authorize it. They also had to go in. If the White House says they didn't know anything about it, that's where I'm going to call bullshit. Right? The White House saying we had no idea that the AG was authorized to search the former president's home. Yeah, probably that's not the case. They're gonna you have to assume they got to walk in, sit down, and say, "Sir, we got a little something we got to talk to you about," and just let you know this is coming down the pike. Yeah.
So how does that play out, you think? You think that, is it nothing? Is it all much ado about nothing, and will it not impact him, or will it be a significant factor?
Yeah, I think I'm going to lose that $1,000 to you, because I think he's going to run again. I don't think it's going to stop him from running. I think they'll realize this. The hard left is saying, oh, he's got the world's most dangerous secrets held at Mar-a-Lago, right? And the right is saying, he declassified it all. There's nothing there. And the truth is, like it typically is somewhere probably in the middle. And in the middle, they're probably going to realize they don't have anything to indict him on. They're not going to do it. It's going to be like all these other things that they were kind of going after. And, so I'll be cutting you a check if you take a check. I could Venmo you or PayPal.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I do those things nowadays.
So for someone like me who's on the outside just trying to pay attention to as little as I can and still talk about it, it's very confusing.
Yeah, it is. It's odd. It's fucking odd if you think about it. I mean, we could end up with Biden and Trump running again in 2024.
I don't think Biden's going to run. I don't think it's possible. I think he's so deteriorated. I think he's gotten to this point where, we're only 2 years in and he's already completely fallen apart, where he can't form sentences anymore. I can't imagine they're going to look at him as a viable candidate in 2024. I mean, a large percentage of the Democrats don't want him to run.
Yeah, that seems to be the case for sure.
And no one's excited about Kamala Harris. They got that lady tucked away somewhere.
Oh, God. I don't know what she's doing. I really don't know what her job is anymore. But you're right. The problem is he's going to have to make that call, right? So he's got to make that decision to say, I'm not running in 2024. Therefore, he clears the decks. And then you get this mad scramble of a couple dozen people chasing him, because I think you're right. In previous times, they would have deferred to the VP, right? I don't think they're going to do that here.
No.
They're not going to do that. So you're going to have this free-for-all where you get people like Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, probably Bernie Sanders again.
Really?
And yeah, I think
he's even older than Biden.
I know, but he's entertaining. You're just going to get a host of characters coming in, because I don't think they're going to say, fine, we'll clear the decks for Harris. So I agree with you 100% on that one. But
doesn't look good.
Yeah, it does.
There's no real exciting options.
330 plus million people. I forget what the population of the U.S. is nowadays, but 330 plus million people, and these are the options we get.
Nobody wants to do that job. It's a terrible job.
Well, plus you also get the primaries, and they vote for the hard edge. So you get that person who says, "I'm all for, clean energy. Climate change is the number one problem. Vote for me." And then you get the people on the far right that say, I'm all about banning abortion and contraception and porn. And so the hard right, maybe the conservatives on the hard right vote for them. And that's what happens in the primaries. And
yeah,
so
unfortunately, because you get the registered people that are voting.
And you get that self-selection that just fucks us over.